I'm that your favorite microbiologist, Edmond Favor. Today I'll be talking on a bacteria called Helicobacter pylori. Helicobacter pylori is an organism that infects the stomach and the first part of the small intestine, also known as the duodenum, causing inflammation, that is swelling and redness of the stomach. Most people with Helicobacter pylori do not have symptoms. Now, what are the symptoms of Helicobacter pylori? Bloated tummy, nausea and vomiting, clubbing, that is unnecessary bowel sounds, loss of appetite, loss of weight, unnecessary loss of weight, dark stools, that stool mixed with blood, and you feel uncomfortable as well. How do we contact this bacteria, H. pylori? H. pylori can be contacted from person to person in contact through saliva, vomit, and stool. It can also be contacted from contaminated food and water, and that's why it's advisable for us to treat our water before consuming, and also prepare our food in a hygienic place and align our food to be well cooked before consuming. Now, what are the diseases caused by this organism? Diseases caused by this H. pylori include gastric ulcer, chronic gastritis, duodenal ulcer, gastric mucosa associated lymphoid tissue lymphoma. These are these. And now, how do we treat this organism? This organism can be treated using antibacterial drugs. What are antibacterial drugs? Antibacterial drugs are drugs that kills bacteria in our body, just like amoxicillin, tetracycline, flagyl, or even tinidazole. Now, or we use drugs that reduces the production of acid in our body, like our normal mixed mag and jealousy. Most people says that ulcer is caused by not eating in the morning, but that's not the truth. Not eating regularly only triggers ulcer. Now, Helicobacter pylori is the actual cause of ulcer because it's a parasite which feed in our stomach. Once there is no food in our stomach, what does it do? It begins to feed on our system, causing what? Causing injury, that is irritation, redness, swelling, and the rest. And once there is this injuries, we begin to have these symptoms of ulcer. Now, I advise that we should always eat when we ought to eat. Eat regularly, and do not starve yourself. Whenever you feel hungry, you make sure you eat and take regular water, and also make sure before consuming anything, make sure that it is properly prepared. You make sure it is properly prepared to avoid any contamination, because most of us have this organism H. pylori in our system. Now, how do we prevent ulcer? We prevent ulcer by eating balanced diet, by maintaining good eating habits, and also avoiding tobacco, cigarettes, and the rest, and also avoiding foods that has too much of acid in it, avoiding acidic food. And I hope with this you try to avoid ulcer. And also make sure you eat when you want to eat. You eat. Don't start starving yourself for anything, because you are automatically increasing the risk of ulcer in your system. In our next class, I'll be talking on plasmodium, the parasite that causes malaria. Thanks. Still your favorite girl.